Listen up. Anyone who was in Houston back when the streets were buzzing about that rumored Pimp C tape already knows who was out here wildin'. And yes, people are pointing fingers at none other than Beyonce.
Was in this Pimp C tape.
All I can tell you, there was a famous R&B chick, and it was a guy that was getting money at the time. And, you know, Pimp, he used to be in the studio. And every now and then he'd have a camcorder, so he was able to get some footage. And he wanted to do something with the footage, but I don't know why he didn't do nothing with it, but if I could have got a hold of that tape, I'd be a billionaire, man. Whoever it was, they had to kill me, man. I know TMZ would have paid a bank for that one, man. But yeah, it is a tape, and if you read the comments, a lot of people figured out. Okay. A lot of people figured out because, you know, people that was in Houston at the time, they know who was a little loose.
But that ain't even the craziest part. Word is Beyonce's name is about to come up real heavy in Diddy's upcoming trial, and the stuff prosecutors are ready to drop? Wild. They're expected to dig into claims that she was somehow involved in those infamous freak-offs. Yes, those. And it doesn't stop there. Talk is, she allegedly knew things about what went down with Cassie. The rumors about women being moved across state lines, even what Jay-Z supposedly did behind the scenes to keep all their secrets in the dark.
Saying, Sean Carter, you're a piece of shit. Taking Pimp C wasn't bad enough. You just want to go down there and you want to just remove all of the balls from every real gangster in Houston.
Folks are whispering all over the place, and someone even said, Sean Carter, you're a piece of trash. That's how heated this is getting. Now, here's where things go left. Whispers say Beyonce's past might not be as squeaky clean as she wants people to believe. Her wild side, it's supposedly about to be exposed, and in a major way. People can't help but raise eyebrows. I mean, how could Beyonce and Jay-Z be tight with Diddy for over 20 years? Go to his parties, mix business constantly, vacation together, know his kids and his inner circle, and have no clue about the shady stuff going on? Come on now. It's looking more like they were either in the know or just looked the other way.
She was trained at the esteemed Berklee College of Music. Handpicked by my very good friend, Terry Lynn Carrington, Dr. Terry Lynn Carrington, who put together Beyonce's entire female band, which was Matthew Knowles' idea because he couldn't get Beyonce to stop people. Guess you didn't know your daughter well enough because she just started all the girls.
Diddy's heading straight into a high-stakes trial, and at this point, no one would be shocked if both Jay-Z and Beyonce end up being dragged into that courtroom. Prosecutors are expected to dig into their longtime connection with Diddy, but you know how these cases work. Once they start flipping stones, all kinds of old dirt gets pulled up just to build a story. Now here's where it gets wild. Sources claim the prosecution is planning to paint Beyonce as one of the women allegedly transported across borders. Yep, that's serious. And to push that narrative, they're reportedly gonna dive deep into Beyonce's alleged dark past. That means everything from when she really started dating Jay-Z, questions about her actual age at the time, to claims she was involved in intimate underground scenes. Yeah, those freak-off rumors are back on the table. And this is where that old Pimp C tape chatter resurfaces. The streets were talking back then, and now it's coming full circle in court. Let's rewind for a second. Pimp C, aka Chad Butler, was first signed to Jive Records in '92 as part of UGK alongside Bun B. They dropped their debut album, Too Hard to Swallow, then kept the heat coming with Super Tight in '94 and Ridin' Dirty in '96. Both albums landed on the Billboard 200, making major noise. But it wasn't until 2000 that UGK hit a national wave, featuring on Jay-Z's smash single Big Pimpin'. That track blew up, peaking at number 18 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 1 on the Rhythmic Top 40. After that, UGK took a break in the early 2000s, with both Pimp C and Bun B diving into solo moves. So when prosecutors start dragging in this old history to build their case, don't be surprised if some huge bombshells start dropping, all connected in the most unexpected ways. Sadly, in December 2007, on Jay-Z's birthday no less, Pimp C was found dead in his hotel room. The coroner later said it was due to complications from heavy lean use mixed with his sleep apnea. But even with that official report, there's still a whole lot of talk about what really went down. Here's what we know. Pimp C was staying at the Mondrian Hotel in West Hollywood, California. He had been in town working on music and doing shows with Too Short. On the morning of December 4th, 2007, he was supposed to fly back home. His wife and cousin were already at the airport waiting to scoop him up. But when he didn't call or show, she got worried and contacted the hotel, asking them to check in on him. That's when things took a dark turn. Hotel staff went to his room and found Pimp C unresponsive. Paramedics arrived, but it was too late. He was pronounced dead right there in that hotel room. Now this is where the story gets weird. According to DJ Paul from 3-6 Mafia, Pimp's manager told him something strange. He said, when they found Pimp C's body, he was positioned like he was kneeling, like he was praying. But here's the wild part. There was blood around him, like maybe he had been hit. The whole thing was messy, and nobody really knew what had gone down because there was blood everywhere. DJ Paul added that the candles Pimp C always lit before sleeping were completely burned out, which meant he'd likely been gone for at least a full day. The whole setup just didn't sit right with folks. Even Too Short said the way Pimp died seemed off, like something just didn't add up. And when people close to him start raising questions like that, you already know something deeper might be hiding behind the scenes. Things started sounding real shady when Too Short told Hip Hop DX, "I can't believe it's been 10 years, and I still can't accept the way it all went down." He pointed out how too many artists keep turning up dead in hotel rooms, always alone, always under weird circumstances. He even said, what the hell is going on with these celebrities in hotel rooms? And honestly, good question. He mentioned the 27 Club, too. You know that eerie pattern where artists die young and suddenly often at 27. Then, in another interview with Vlad TV, he doubled down and said straight up, Pimp C's death just didn't add up, and the more you hear about it, the sketchier it sounds.
It's like, I heard some shit about he has clothes on or something, I don't know, like, I don't really know if all this is true, but I just heard parts like, I'm like, what happened to my guy?
Right.
And then they come out with the official, it was a mixture of some stuff, a prescription and something else or something that I don't really know. But with me, I never really heard something that would give that closure for me. I never really heard anything tangible or true, like what happened to my guy.
Now let's talk about this Pimp C and Beyonce mess, because this rabbit hole goes deep, and it's full of wild rumors. People have been whispering for years about what really happened to Pimp C, and one of the most controversial claims, that Jay-Z had him taken out because of an alleged situation involving Beyonce. Even before that rumor, there was already bad blood. Pimp C was never feeling Jay-Z, ever, and there's proof. On an episode of The Art of Dialogue, music exec Greg Taylor shared a story about an awkward phone call between the two. Apparently, right after the deal was sealed for UGK to hop on Jay-Z's Big Pimpin', Jay gave Pimp C a call to talk details. But here's the thing, Jay didn't know his call was on speaker. So when he delivered the news, Pimp C didn't hold back. He straight up dissed Jay-Z to his face, with everybody listening.
We set it up a meeting to go meet with Dame Dash. So we go, after I leave Java, go to Rock, to the Rock. As soon as I sit down there, Dame Dash opened up his checkbook, cut a check for $1 million. I'm like, whoa. He like, I was like, is this for sure? He was like, nah. He said, we want to UGK. I was like, what? He's like, we want to with your boys.
That's right.
So I immediately picked up the phone and called Pimp C. Because all I was trying to get was 100,000. When Dame cut that $1 million, I called Pimp on the phone like, yo, Pimp, and him and Jamal was in the house. And I could hear a tussle or some type of confrontation, right? And I'm like, calm down, bro. Y'all calm down, Pimp.
I ran up the cable bill.
They was fighting. Okay, they was fighting like hard. And I'm like, Pimp, stop whatever you doing right now. I told you what's going down with Jamal when you moved him up in there. I said, but right now, I got $1 million check for you. All we want was 100,000. I was just like, who is that with? I said, with Rockefeller. He was like, what? I was like, yeah. He was like, I'm watching Dan with the checkbook, he writing out. He was like, ain't that with, over there with Jay-Z? I was like, yeah. He was like, man, tell him to take that check and go give it to Tupac Mama, man. He's gonna be stealing all my shit. I was like, what?
No sugarcoating, no fake love. That tension, it was real. And if that bad blood really ran as deep as people say, then the idea that things might have escalated behind closed doors, well, it's no wonder folks are still side-eyeing everything about Pimp C's death. Here's something wild. Pimp C straight up turned down $1 million from Jay-Z's label. Why? He thought they were gonna scam him. And instead of taking the bag, he reportedly said they should give that money to Tupac's mom. Now that's a bold statement, but it also raises a serious question. What kind of connection did Jay-Z even have with Tupac for Pimp to say something like that? Anyway, one thing's for sure. Pimp C wasn't scared of nobody. He was known for speaking his mind and calling out anyone who moved funny. He didn't care if it was Jay-Z, Diddy, or anyone else with power. He wasn't trying to play nice in an industry full of secrets and backroom deals. And you already know, guys like Jay and Diddy, they don't like people who talk too much, especially when that truth cuts deep. Now throw in that wild rumor that Pimp C and Beyonce had a little something going on, and supposedly even made a tape. Whew, that right there sounds like enough to make enemies in high places. There's even more tea. Bun B once shared a story about being in the studio with Beyonce and Pimp C. Everything was cool until Jay-Z found out. Jay apparently called the studio, asked who was there, and when he heard Beyonce was dressed in something a little too spicy, he flipped. He demanded that all the dudes, especially Pimp C, leave the room immediately.
So he's like, wait a minute, how many dudes are there? And so she's like, oh, it's about 9 or 10 guys, I guess, over there. Where are they now? They're in here, they're in the soundstage, they're kind of watching, watching her film. What is she wearing? They describe the outfit, and he's like, yo, clear the room.
Wow.
So they immediately come over to us, and they kick all of us out, send us up to our dressing rooms.
Wow.
And we're told to stay there.
Wow.
Until we have to shoot.
Okay.
We're not allowed to watch Beyonce dance anymore in the video.
And it didn't stop there. Bun B also said Beyonce's own father had once warned Pimp C not to mess with her. That tells you everything you need to know about how real those rumors might have been.
Matthew Knowles comes in and he asks Pimp, can I talk to you for a minute? And so they leave out for a couple of minutes and Pimp comes in and he's dying laughing. And we're like, what's wrong? He's like, yo, Matthew Knowles just told me don't f his daughter, man. Please don't. Please, my daughter.
Now imagine Beyonce getting called to the stand and all this getting dragged into the spotlight. The streets are already buzzing that if it happens, some serious skeletons could fall out of her closet. And people are watching closely. Now let's not act like Beyonce's name hasn't already come up multiple times in this whole messy situation. Word is, Cassie's original lawsuit actually mentioned both Jay-Z and Beyonce. That first draft, allegedly 60 pages long, but it got chopped down to 35. And guess what? Those missing pages supposedly had a lot to say about the Carters. One of the biggest claims? That Jay-Z and Beyonce witnessed Diddy strike Cassie at one of his wild house parties. Yeah, witnessed. According to the info that was allegedly scrubbed from the final version, after Diddy put hands on Cassie, she ran upstairs and locked herself in a bedroom to regroup. Security chased her down, but she stayed in that room for more than 30 minutes, trying to pull herself together. Real heavy stuff. When she finally came back downstairs, Beyonce and Jessica Alba were reportedly standing in the foyer, waiting for her, checking to make sure she was okay. But things took a turn when Diddy and Jay-Z came walking toward them. That's when Beyonce snapped. Allegedly, she went off on Diddy, screaming that what he did was completely out of line and straight up unacceptable. And get this, Diddy supposedly dropped to his knees right then and there, begging for forgiveness. Not just from Cassie, but from Beyonce and Jessica too. But the drama didn't stop there. Beyonce was furious with Jay-Z too. She allegedly asked him why he was trying to comfort Diddy, instead of checking him for what just happened. She even told Jay-Z that she was starting to lose respect for him. If all this really went down and ends up resurfacing in court, it's gonna be explosive, especially if those missing pages find their way back into the spotlight. After that wild scene went down, reports say Beyonce, Cassie, Jessica Alba, and around 20 to 25 other guests immediately bounced from the party. Some left because they saw it with their own eyes, others because the story spread through the mansion like wildfire. And here's something real telling. Cassie reportedly didn't leave with Beyonce. She dipped out with Jessica and her crew. Why? Because Cassie knew that if she left with Bey, Diddy could easily track her down, thanks to his tight ties with Jay-Z. That's how deep this circle runs. And let's not forget what Jaguar Wright said. She once claimed that Jay-Z and Beyonce are a shady pair, accusing them of keeping people against their will, flying them across borders while unconscious, and getting them caught up in all kinds of illegal stuff. Sound familiar? That's exactly what Diddy is being accused of now.
Victims potentially, do you think there could be?
Thousands. Thousands. I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. And everyone knows it. The wiretapping of the phones, putting AirTag on children during visits. These are normal practices that these people do.
And that's not even the whole tea. Rumors have been swirling that Beyonce herself may have been involved in those infamous freak-offs too. Allegedly, of course. The dots connecting Diddy and the Carters keep piling up, and it's getting harder to pretend there's no pattern here. So here's the real question. Did Jay-Z have anything to do with Pimp C's death? There's no hard evidence, but the rumors, they've never stopped. And now, with Diddy's world falling apart, don't be surprised if everything starts coming back to the surface. Because if just one domino drops, the whole structure might come crashing down. Whew, what do you think? Can Beyonce and Jay-Z really avoid all this mess if they end up on the stand? Or are their own skeletons about to get dragged out too? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. And I'll see you on the next one.